everybody, it's Cutthroat Cure again, and we're doing another Army showcase, this time with a beautiful board of blue. So I am joined today by
Chris Dancox,
and you brought your trolls with you today. So let's go over these trolls and you tell me a little bit about them. So starting with the front right here, what do we got?
So we've got a couple of units of Rune Shapers at the front. Yeah, two units of them in fact.
So when you were painting these, what was the idea that you were going for? Why did you choose this color scheme?
Sure. Well, I chose the blue because trolls are blue. Theoretically, I guess. I like the idea of high contrast miniatures. A lot of these guys look really good or really sharp from a tabletop level, so I really like it to catch your eye from a distance, and I think it's accomplished that goal. I didn't paint any of the tartan patterns or anything like that, just because I like the cleaner colors and just the solid colors on the robes. And it's working with a limited palette as well, so you see all the guys kind of have the same sorts of colors, blue, red, grays, and then some of them will have the green as kind of an accent, but that's really for only special cases like the Rune Shapers, the Casters, things like that. So.
Yeah, I like it, and I see your whelps like strewn into the board. They're all in there. And then we've got your Stone Scribe Elder for your Creelstone unit. And you've got this really cool light glow on your Creelstone, and it really does pop.
Thank you. Yeah, I tried to follow a little bit of the some of the tutorials and stuff I could find online for putting the glow in the rocks and such. Because the Creelstone obviously kind of needed that, and then otherwise, like I said, going with that high contrast. Tried to paint in some details to the stone itself, which is, unfortunately, just kind of a flat model as it is.
Yeah, definitely something that could be a little bit different. All right, so you've got the old metal Mauler with his giant fangs, and so was this a good model to paint, a bad model to paint? How did you feel about it?
He was a blast to paint. I've actually been using the older Mauler for the last couple of years while I've been playing, and I painted him. I'd say he's one of my most recent miniatures. Him in the Northkin channel. So he was originally painted because I was going to play Doomy 2 and have two Maulers, but since I painted him, I figured the OG Mauler needs to go into the list, and he was a ton of fun to paint and get out there for the other list that just have one Mauler too.
Yeah, I love the tongue and the teeth. It really makes that model stand out. So back here we have an Earthborn, and he is flying high.
Yeah, just the regular model there. Put him up on a couple extra rocks so he's not looking straight down to the ground, but other than that, just painted it kind of to the same theme as the original theme from the studio. Okay,
and now I see that you have you took the Extreme Mauler here and you actually converted it into a bomber and put this little whelp up here with his giant flame.
Yeah, I figured he's my extreme bomber, and an extreme bomber definitely needs an extreme whelp to light the bombs on fire. So that was the thought there. He's also kind of recent in the last few months. A lot of guys, when I started the Army, I just stuck with the original models. So you'll see that with the Axer, the Bomber, the Earthborn, the first few models I painted. And then as I got more comfortable and was kind of duplicating models in the set, I wanted to start adding some conversions in. So you have the Bomber there, the Northkin Shaman are converted. And there's a few other conversions in my personal collection at home as well. So.
Nice. So here's another bomber, and he's the more standard type. And I like that your whelp on top kind of has a Mario hat.
Yeah, I figured the little paperboy hat needed to be red and Mario. I didn't put the M symbol on it, but it struck me as needing to be red.
That's awesome. All right, let's talk about your big boy here. So how long did it take you to paint him?
The big boy, he was, I want to say about 2 weeks of painting. Which is actually a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. Because he's such a big model, he was kind of my first test with the airbrush, and you can see that especially in the skins and the rocks. Not on the highlights, obviously, but in the cracks and crevices, you can see kind of the blending of the airbrush. And I had a blast painting him. He was lots of fun. The only problem with painting a model that big is every time you kind of turn it around, there's another rock that needs highlighting or another tooth or something.
Oh, don't I know that? All right, so let's go to this bright little beauty right here, the Night Troll.
Mr. Night Troll, yeah, Mr. Night Troll of recent internet fame. I kind of wanted to go, so I wanted to stick with the initial blue theme, obviously, so he conformed, but then I also kind of wanted to go with a bright, spiny, kind of glowfish idea to him, so he's kind of lighting up all over. He's trapped his prey, and so I thought the bright green on all of his spines would be really cool, and I think it's turned out fairly well.
What colors did you use to do that glow right there?
So I believe that's, I used the Citadel paint lines,
Okay.
so I believe it is Caliban green, which is Dark Angel's green, up through, I want to say,
Golden yellow, probably, or sun yellow.
it goes all the way up to Flash Gets yellow, I believe, and it's in the middle is the Goblin green. I don't know the new paint colors. I base everything off of the old stuff.
All right, so we've got a Janissa, and we've got the Rune Bear. And then let's talk about these two new guys right here in the front, the Shamans.
Yeah, the Northkin Shamans. They are gigantic models for just being solos. If you put them next to the casters, they are both bigger than the casters, which is kind of funny. But I really liked painting them. They were lots of fun. Because I stuck too much to my conformity and I don't want to mess around with that, the stones and the fur kind of blends into each other, which is unfortunate. But I still think it turns out pretty sharp with the extreme contrast on them.
So I see that your conversion that you were talking about earlier here is that you actually switch the arms. So on this shaman, you have left arm axe, right arm staff, and this one you have left arm staff, right arm axe.
Exactly.
Did you do that more just to add a little bit of general changes in for your opponent to look at, or was it more or less just something that you just wanted to look different in general?
I wanted them to look different in general. You know, when you have two models, especially character models like that, I didn't really want them to be identical. So, yeah, it was a pretty quick and easy swap. The head's a little bit repositioned as well on the converted one, but not. The model makes it so it can't be done a huge amount. So, yeah, I just wanted to flip it out for kind of my own preference.
Nice. All right, so let's talk about your two casters. So right here we have Ragnar. And I see that you took a little bit of the, what looks like the Rune Shaper rocks right there and used those to mold them, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's definitely correct. So grabbed a few of those. As you see, my Rune Shapers don't have them because when I started, I was annoyed by them. But Ragnar definitely needed some as the character Rune Shaper.
Yeah, he looks great. And yeah, and you even got in there in his face and everything. I love the colors on him. Okay, I'm just going to pull him off right here, and we're going to set him right here.
Yeah, thank you.
So we can look. And he is just absolutely wonderful. Look at that, like, look at the detail. Like, this is the kind of models that when you see them across the table and you see, you know, a fully painted caster and they're your centerpiece, like, they really, you know, make the army. It's beautiful work. And last but not least, your lucky lady. And I'm gonna pull her off too, and then you can just talk about her.
Sure.
So let's talk about this Gristle too. So when did you, how long have you had her painted?
She's been about the last, I think I painted her about 4 or 5 months ago now. I knew I was coming to this convention, I knew I wanted to play her, and obviously everyone's kind of saying Gristle 2 is really good right now, so I put some work into her, and been playing her ever since I could get her fully painted. Just went with the same idea I went with everybody else, so you can see the solid reds, you know, the green accents on the top of the hammer and on the cloths on the bottom of her skirt. But other than that, yeah, she's just regular. I really like the detail, how it came out in the face. I think she has a lot of character in her face specifically. So.
She's much better than the old Gristle 1 sculpt. And she's definitely up there with the Gristle 2, the new Gristle 1 sculpt, resculpt. So I'm really happy with that. I like I like how the green is mixed in there. You know, she's absolutely beautiful. And then last but not least, let's look at this board. So if everybody doesn't get to see this, it is a coastal image here, and it actually has a boat that's sinking. It has some, has a chicken jack and a slayer. Is that a slayer? Yeah, that's a slayer.
I think so. It's whichever one's in the battle box.
Yep, slayer going down with the ship. And here we get to see our first peek at the Sea King. And it looks like he's making up for that 42 points.
This is Sea King pre-hat. He's got to take the boat out to get the hat.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So awesome. Thank you so much for showing us your army and taking the time, and hopefully you're having a good con.
I'm having a great con. Thank you very much for showcasing my army, and thank you very much for everything you guys do. I'm a glacial speed kind of painter, so I watch all your guys' videos and everything like that, so big fan.
Awesome. And everybody, this is another Army Showcase from Adepticon 2017.